And good morning. It's 7:04 on this Friday, January 21st. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome. We got a cold Friday morning here to welcome you on, but we welcome you anyway, and thanks for joining us. We're on the air for Wilson Bank and Trust, and Heidi King joins us this morning. Heidi, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
Yeah, Heidi. Somebody's bound to have said that a few times.
No, just a couple.
Well, I hope you're warm and toasty in here.
It's way warmer in here than it is outside.
You bet your life. Well, you are in the investment department, and I'm sure that's what you want to talk about this morning, and how things are going. So I'll just let you get started here.
Absolutely. So, a lot of things that we talk about go beyond just what's going on in the everyday market. So I want to just touch on one thing that I'm kind of focusing on this year is when we meet with our clients, we have those annual reviews, and those are so important just to make sure we stay on track. But one thing I'm really focusing on this year is talking about that retirement income planning and making sure we're reviewing that alongside our portfolios to make sure that they're working in the way they're supposed to be working. And it goes so much further and beyond just how much am I going to pull? How much Social Security do I get? Do I get a pension? Because right now we're talking about a lot of things like inflation, possible rising interest rates. And so how does that really affect you 10, 15, 20 years from now?
Do you have a lot of questions regarding those things?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's really easy to let your employer pull a little money out of your paycheck from week to week and into that 401k, but how do you get it back out? That's a big question.
Yeah. Well, I think nearly everybody's concerned about the inflation and we're in an inflation cycle, no doubt, and we're hearing about rising interest rates and all of this, and I'm sure there's more questions than there's been in the last 2 or 3 years.
Absolutely. It's how can I help my checking account work a little better or my CDs work a little better, and then how is inflation really going to impact the bottom line? And this is something that we've always thought about and we've talked about, but inflation hasn't been an issue for many years, at least during the past 15 years of my career so far. And it really is forefront to make sure that clients won't outlive their money.
Yeah. Well, but a year-end review, and is that when most people do this, either in December or maybe January?
So I actually have clients that we do their annual review all year long. Oh. So I based it on when we started our relationship. So that way we can kind of keep on track. If you tried to meet with everybody in December, I don't think I'd get a wink of sleep.
Okay, I get it. But people are a little bit more concerned, and some of the questions are a little bit different now than they have been previously.
Absolutely.
And of course, none of us have that crystal ball, but there are some guidelines to go by, and I think you do that pretty religiously, for lack of a better word, right?
Absolutely. So it's one thing that we look at on a regular basis for all of our clients, regardless if it's an in-depth discussion. But I just think that that's something that needs to be reviewed and looked at maybe a little deeper these days.
Well, if somebody hasn't started, hopefully they're fairly young, but the younger you start, the better you're going to be when you get retirement age.
Absolutely. We start planning with clients as young as, in their 20s, all the way through, I'm about to retire, what do I do? So anything and everything in between.
Well, it started rather small, and now you've got, I guess, your service is available at all branches of Wilson Bank, are they not?
Absolutely. So we have advisors all the way from Cookeville to Cool Springs and everywhere in between. So there's one of us in every market now, that's for sure.
And you've helped a lot of people grow wealth, and they've done better, have more ready for retirement, coming and letting you help them do that.
Well, I do think working with a financial professional is a huge service, and we look at it, you go to an attorney, you go to a doctor, you go to a financial advisor to make sure that your money's working the right way too.
Well, you look for new clients. I mean, you welcome them, I'm sure.
We absolutely do. And with almost 12 advisors on staff now, there's going to be somebody that we can make sure gets taken care of.
All right. We have talked about investments this morning, and there's that little disclaimer that we usually, I think we're supposed to do so that everybody knows there's a chance of risk here.
Absolutely. So securities offered through Raymond James Financial Services, Inc., member FINRA SIPC, not guaranteed by Wilson Bank and Trust, subject to risk, may lose value, non-deposit, not insured by FDIC or any government insurance agency.
Heidi, always good to see you. Thanks for being with us this morning. Al, you got to go back out in the cold.
I know. Thank you so much, Coleman.
All right. Wilson Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender. They're still here, still independent, still committed to you. Excellence in banking since 1987. All right, at 10 minutes after the hour, we're going to go to the telephone this morning. And on the phone is Senator Mark Bodie. Good morning, Senator.
Good morning, Coleman.
Well, it is good to hear your voice, even though you are far away in Wisconsin, and there's a reason for your being there. And if you'd like to talk about that for a moment, we could.
And I appreciate so many prayers of people that have been sending in. My father-in-law, my wife's dad, is actually in hospice now and not doing well. We know that he's going to be going home to the Lord shortly. And they called up and said, if anybody wants to come and see him, they need to come pretty much right now. So I flew up here, and I'm in Wisconsin, and we know that the time is very short for him. However, we know he knows the Lord, so he'll be going to heaven shortly, and I'm just up here supporting my wife, and we're going to miss him dramatically, but we know he's going to a much better place. And I just appreciate all the thoughts and prayers people have been sending up to us and for my wife.
Well, where are you calling from this morning?
So I'm actually in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, and that's where I went to high school, is up here. And, you know, one thing about Lake Geneva, it's about very cold all the time, and they call it a resort for Chicago. So when I was up here, this is right outside of Chicago, and I remember why I left here to come to warmer weather. Low zero, and you can't walk outside without just freezing. So I'm so glad that we're in Tennessee, but we've got a lot of family up here and a lot of friends. So we've got a lot of support up here as well.
How much of the legislative session this week did you miss?
I missed most of it, but I followed every single one online, and I was in contact with Debbie at the office every single day, so I was able to continue to do the work from remotely as much as I possibly could. I did have to miss some votes, however, but one of the biggest votes that came through was the redistricting. It went through the Senate, so it did do the Senate maps just as they had put down as we projected, and that means I did officially lose all of the 5 counties, the rural counties, and now the 17th district is going to be going into Nashville, and that means it'll go, if you almost think about it, it's going to be a line. We'll have all of Wilson County, and then going into Nashville, circle the airport, and circle Percy Priest Lake. And that's kind of be the area that the 17th district will be representing from here on out. Now, the governor's got to sign the bill. It's got to be passed by the House as well, but we believe the House will be passing it very shortly and moving forward from there. And that should be done. The next one's going to be is the congressional seat, and that was passed as well. That's going to be passed by the House, signed by the governor, and I believe it'll be immediately challenged in court. And we know that court case has to go very quickly because those that want to run in that race, they have to have the court case done before the qualifying deadline. And so we think that's going to be put before the courts very, very quickly, and we believe it's going to be approved. The biggest challenge they have right now is dividing up Davidson County, where it just has one congressman right now, Congressman Cooper. They want to divide that up so there would be actually Davis County would be represented by 3 congressional districts, and that's going to be the biggest court challenge. And when they drew the map, they felt that they did it in such a way that it would stand up to the muster of the constitutional challenge. But I'm not an attorney, so I got to just rely on them to say whether it will or not. But I believe it will. When they did this, they've already looked at all the numbers, and they feel it's going to be better. It does split Wilson County, however, into 2. So part of Wilson County will be in John Rose's district, Congressman Rose, and the other part's going to be in Cooper's district, Congressman Cooper. So that'll be a little bit interesting for Wilson County to go back to having to, and Congressman Cooper actually represented Wilson County 10 years ago. So it's not something unusual. It's already happened that way before.
Well, it's quite interesting to see this, and some are calling it gerrymandering. What's your answer to that? Is this gerrymandering?
You know, I believe that they drew the maps, and they did draw the maps, I think, in the favor to divide up Davidson County, and I would have to say that I can understand why people would be saying something like that. I probably I'd drawn the maps myself. I would have left it whole. I would have left Davidson County alone. However, it was not my committee. I was just one of the votes, and so it passed overwhelmingly. And we'll just see how the courts take it from there.
Well, I've been around a few days, and I've seen some of this take place before. And regardless of which political party is in power, they have a tendency to do this sort of thing. So it's nothing new. It doesn't usually win friends and influence many people in the opposing party, and that's why we have these lawsuits sometimes. But as long as it's legal, I guess there's not much can be done about it.
I don't think so. At one time, I tried to actually propose a bill to say everything's going to be drawn up by a computer. Other states have done that, where you just put all the factors in a computer, and the computer itself actually divides up the state. And that was shut down very early. And they said whatever party in power should have the right to kind of make it where they're the ones drawing the lines. It's important, and it's a political deal. So. Maybe we wouldn't want to give up that authority or that power if the people elected one party or another to do that. So my idea of just going through and letting the computer do it, and it would be just, this is it, whatever, did not go well. However, you know, I feel this, whatever the Lord puts me in, I'm going to represent that group of people, and I will fight hard for whatever those constituents are.
Okay, with that, we will take time for a break here. Senator Mark Pody is my guest, our Friday Senate Report here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. It's now 7:17, and this update brought to you by Absolute Kubota. Large inventory of new and used Kubota mowers, RTVs, tractors, hay equipment, and more. Come in Saturday, free popcorn, and check out the new Kubota products. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Traffic's on the increase as expected coming through Mount Juliet right now, leaving Wilson County on I-40. Give yourself extra time. We've seen tons of radar out here. They've got that wreck over to the side, 65 south at Trinity Lane, and slow it down. Be careful there on I-40 coming through Kingston Springs. Gatlinburg Wine Cellar, home of the world famous cotton candy wine. Check out all their flavors at GatlinburgWineCellar.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
It's the beginning of a new era of Cumberland University baseball as Coach Brian Hunt takes over the reins of the program from his recently retired dad, Hall of Fame Coach Woody Hunt. And speaking of Woody Hunt, he'll join me, Randy Salas, in the broadcast booth to help call the action in what's sure to be a great baseball season. 47 games will be broadcast on 4 platforms: WANT 98.9 FM, WCOR 1490 AM, WANTFM.com, and GoCumberlandAthletics.com. Good luck to the new Coach Hunt, and go Phoenix.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
Touchdown, Titans! The Titans return to the AFC Divisional Playoffs this Saturday to host the Cincinnati Bengals. Titans Countdown happens at 2. Kickoff of Cincinnati and Tennessee happens at 3:30.
Brought to you by Bakes and Hooker, Bates Ford, Steve Mall Plumbing, The Jewelers, and the City of Lebanon Gas and Tennessee 811. Call before you dig.
This is Wilson County's home for real country music and the Tennessee Titans. Real Country 98.9.
All
All right, thanks for joining us here on a cold Friday morning. Senator Mark Pody is on the phone. He is in Wisconsin, where it's even colder. Now, we were talking during the break here just a little bit about you're from Wisconsin. You hadn't lived there all your life, but before you came to Tennessee, you were there and became a Green Bay Packer fan, I understand. And now they're the number one seed in the NFC. The Titans number one, of course, in the AFC. And chances are fairly good that they could meet in the Super Bowl. I'm going to say Green Bay's chances are probably even better than the Titans of being there. But if they should be, Senator, is that going to be any problem for you to choose who you're going to root for?
Well, I will tell you that I will be rooting for both teams, but my heart's going to be right now with, I've been a Packer fan for longer than I've been a Titan fan. So whenever I'm up here, and they really take it serious up here, every single store you go in, they are showing Packer support and Packer memorabilia. And they're talking about perhaps that they think that they're going to be facing the Titans in the Super Bowl. So that would be a really, really good game. And I would be happy with whichever team wins. But Aaron Rodgers, this is probably on his last couple of years here with the Packers. And if he doesn't win now, he might not win it ever. And so this could be his last chance to do it. He's a great quarterback.
Yeah. You remember Bart Starr?
I remember 15 very well. Bart Starr and Vince Lombardi. Green Bay is the only team that's owned by stockholders. So the fans actually own the team, which makes it a most interesting opportunity. And when they have an ice bowl up here, it is so cold. And I'm a Packer fan, but I don't think I'd ever want to go to a game when it's that cold, when it's below zero. It is freezing here.
Boy, I know I wouldn't. I'll tell you. I went to the bowl game in Nashville when Vanderbilt was playing a few years ago, and it was about 32, 33 degrees, and I like to froze to death. So, no, if it's zero, I'm staying home. But we better get back to the Senate, I guess. There's been a lot of publicity, a lot of news about what we've just talked about here, but that's not all that is going on. And when this goes through the process, what else? What's going to take its place in the headlines and the news coming out of the legislature?
So the next headline is going to be probably talking about school funding and how we actually are funding the schools. And it's with something called the BEP, and that's the Basic Education Program, and it's a really, really hard formula to understand. So what they've decided to do, and this is going to be our governor, has said we're going to relook at how we're funding our schools, our public education. And the basic thing is going to be, he's saying, I want to get away from funding the systems, the school systems, to funding the individual students. So that's going to be kind of a change of attitude and philosophy of how we're going forward with this. They've got a bill proposed right now that they're going to be looking at. Now, I'm not on the education committee. I was on one of the subcommittees that was hearing some of the things going around, getting the input from parents, from teachers, from administrators, superintendents, teachers unions, everybody across the board were giving us input on what they would like it to look like. And I think everybody was concerned that they're going to be taking money away from the public schools. And I don't think that's going to be the end game. I think that we're going to find that there can be some more funding going in. It's how it's going to be funded, though. And it's going to be kind of in a tiered system. So as that goes through the committee system, I think that's going to be the headlines coming up in the next few weeks.
All right.
However, speaking on education, or go ahead.
Some of the smaller counties just don't have the money available apparently to fund education like some of the more affluent ones do, and I think they've gotten a bigger share of the pie because of that. But you're saying so much per individual student is the way you're looking at this. How do you change that, or how would that change things?
Well, there'd still be that way. Basic money is going into per student. So as the school system has a lot of students, are going to get a lot of money. If they don't have as many students, they won't get as much. But they still need to make sure that even the rural counties that can't afford to have as big of a property tax, or they don't have the industry to support the school systems, we want to make sure that they're getting their fair share. So whether a child's in rural Tennessee or in Wilson County or Williamson County, Tennessee, where they have more money, they're a little bit better off. We want to make sure they have equal opportunity for a fair education across the board. So they're going to be trying to look at that in a very strong way, that money is going to be equal across the state per student. However, it's going to give the parents a little bit more choices where they can send the students, and it's going to try and give the parents a little bit more authority as well of being in charge of their education. It used to be that we just say everybody's going to go to a public education, or whatever happened, we're going to the closest schools, but we're going to be trying to get parents a little bit more involved as well. So we're going to be trying to get this education funding stronger. And Tennessee is one of the states that has the least amount of money going into education per student right now if we look across the nation. So we're looking at how we can change that, how we can move forward to get our kids a better education. And what a time to do it with the learning loss that we have had in some of the parts of the state, and with virtual learning and so forth. We really need to get a handle on this, because this is a whole generation that we got to watch these kids, that we can make sure we can deliver this education to them. Well,
and looking at the counties that you've represented, I mean, you've represented Wilson here, rather affluent. Some of the others that's currently in your district are not nearly as affluent. So you've no doubt heard both sides of this. You've heard from our people here in Wilson County. You've heard from the less populated, let's say, poorer counties of your district. So you must have a pretty good understanding of both sides here.
Yes, and Wilson County does put a lot more money per child into their schools, but it's our local money that we're doing it compared to some of the other counties that are represented. And so the rural counties said, well, they're in Wilson County getting more money, and when I talk to our taxpayers in Wilson County, we're saying we're not getting our fair share from the state because we're having to pass it around. So it's a balancing act on both sides.
Well, hopefully...
It was a lawsuit that started all this.
We got about 3 or 4 minutes left here this morning. What else might be on your mind this morning, legislative-wise?
All right. So one of the things that I'm talking about doing is we've got a bill drafted, and it's actually going to be for our teachers. Unfortunately, I don't know if, in the news and such, not long ago, it talked about one of the teachers in Davis County kind of got beat up. And another one was actually sexually assaulted. And the school system, instead of to prosecute those kids, they just moved into a different classroom. And that made the teachers, extremely uncomfortable. They weren't even having their personal safety kind of enforced the way that they were hoping. So I'm strengthening a bill to give them, the teachers themselves, a little bit more authority, and they would be able to take some action themselves. So I think that's going to make a lot of teachers very happy with us saying that we're going to be giving them a little bit of more authority. If they need to prosecute, they can do some things like that as well. It's not right for anybody to have to go to work and feel endangered or threatened at their job. So I am working on that. Another one I'm working on is DCS. Now, DCS has been very helpful in working with me on a bill. And sometimes I'm going to give you an example. There's unfunded or unfounded charges. And if somebody's going through a divorce, as an example, one spouse will say, hey, I'm turning in the other spouse because they're abusing the children. And they're not doing it because there's any abuse to the child. They're doing it to make that other spouse look bad in court. So when DCS goes out and investigates and they say this is totally unfounded, they're not doing it, but there's no abuse there, that after a period of time that record will be completely erased. When DCS goes in and they say there is no funding, there's no foundation of this complaint, they can erase that record. If there is a foundation of the complaint, that's going to stay with that family for the rest of their lives. But right now, even if there's something that's not any reason for them to be turned into DCS, it stays on the record. And if they ever go to court and the judge asks, hey, have you ever had trouble with DCS, or is there any kind of record? Even if there was nothing there, they still have to say yes. Mm-hmm. And that can be detrimental to a court case. So we're trying to say to DCS, if there's nothing there, it's just kind of this kind of dispute, somebody's turning it in to be vindictive, we're going to have that record erased.
Okay, I guess you're not sure when you'll be home, but from what you said, probably not long. But while you're away, I guess it's good that you got Debbie in the office.
Absolutely. And Debbie works awesome. She's just, anybody has any trouble, they can still get me by phone. They can still get me by email. I am down there, and I've talked to the speakers, so they know that I'm up here. And they said for me just to stay until I need to get everything taken care of. But I will be back shortly, and I will be doing the things that I need to do to make sure that these get through committee and votes and so forth. So I know that even though I'm here for a short period of time, which I just got to tell you, I got to put my family, they just come first.
Right.
I'll be back in the district very shortly doing all the jobs that I need to do.
Well, we thank you so much for your report this morning. I know you've gone out of your way really to do this, but we appreciate your dedication to us and to the program and to your district as well. And we wish you the best, Senator Mark Pody.
Thank you, Coleman. And listen, I just appreciate again I've gotten so many prayers and people thinking of my wife and such. I just want to make sure I shout out to them and thank you for allowing me to come in on phone.
All right. Well, we'll talk to you next time, and thank you again. That is our Friday Senate report, Senator Mark Pody, and we invite you to stay with us for more here on FM 98.9.
And at 7:30, let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford and the Works Vehicle Checkup, they'll make sure your vehicle is ready for any road. It's $49.95, up to 5 quarts oil, tax and disposal, tire rotation, and safety check too. 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Interstate traffic still looking pretty good right now, coming down through Millersville, Goodlettsville on 65 through that portion of Robertson County. That's a minor accident, 65 there at Trinity Lane, and slowly but surely building out of Wilson County right now on I-40 up past the Mount Juliet exit. Prince's Hot Chicken now available for catering. Check out that menu at princeshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Love is in the air. Would you just love to sell your home, but you don't know what it's worth?
We would love for you to call us and we can preview your home and tell you the current market value.
There is no obligation. We love selling homes,
and we would love to sell yours.
Call Judy Cox or Medina Himmentoler at Exit Rocky Top Realty, C&D Team 443-3130.
Get ready to be inspired at the Southern Home and Garden Expo presented by Wilson Bank and Trust. At this in-person event, you can connect with local vendors, explore new products and services, and meet our experienced local lenders who can help you bring your visions to life. Visit the Southern Home and Garden Expo at the Farm Bureau Expo Center in Lebanon on Friday and Saturday, February 11th and 12th, or visit WBTHomeGardenExpo.com for details. Giveaways and prizes will be featured at the event, so don't miss out. Wilson Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
It's finally Friday, and today you can expect some very cold temperatures. Highs today will only top out in the low 30s with a mix of sun and clouds. On Saturday, we'll have sunny skies with highs in the upper 30s. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's Look at Your Forecast. I'm meteorologist T.J. Scott.
Coleman & Company, it is a Friday morning, and we welcome you to part 2 of Coleman & Company. And we're ready to talk about CMD team of Exit Rocky Top Realty. We're just going to be graced with the presence of one this morning, but Medina didn't forget us. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
Oh, I'm fine. It's a little cold out there. I saw 19 degrees on my car thermometer when I drove up to the station. MJ's usually got us 2 degrees colder than that. 17?
That's it, yeah.
Anyway, something like that. If it gets below 20, it's cold.
That's right.
Well,
not as cold as it is in Wisconsin.
There, you got that right. But we want to remind you that at C&D Realty and the Exit Rocky Top Realty, C&D team, you got some great people there, great service, and you hear about it every Friday here. And Medina is usually here, Miss Judy is usually here, but one of you always are here.
That's right.
And somebody answers that phone 24 hours a day.
7 days a week.
Trust. And you always say,
don't make a move without us.
You start and finish with that.
That's right.
Well, what you got for us today?
Well, I just wanted to tell everyone that we're still looking for listings. If you're looking to sell, or you're thinking about it, or you would like to know what your house is worth so you can make a decision if you want to list it or not, we'd be glad to come out. There's no cost to that. There's no obligation for that. It's just us coming out. It only takes 30 to 45 minutes. And it doesn't mean that you've got to have your house spick and span. It just means that we're going to come in and look at the floor plan, look at your rooms and everything of that nature, and then we can do the comps and see where you stand with that. And we usually are very close to whatever it goes to if you do list it, and what it sells for. We're very close to that number whenever we give you a estimate.
You're in tune with the value of the property.
That's right. That's right. Oh, you have to be. You have to be these days. Of course, these days it's all over the market, so you've really got to be on your toes during this time.
Well, but you're staying busy.
Staying busy.
You
Yes.
have closings all the time.
Yes,
don't you?
we have closings. We have listings. We're just always looking for more. So whenever we close one, then here comes another one down the pike. Yeah. So, but yes, we have listings. And one of the ones I wanted to talk about today was on Lovers Lane. Mm-hmm. It's 441 Lovers Lane. It's listed at $264,900. And it's not far from town at all. It takes you 5 minutes to get into town, and it's right off of Rome Pike. And it is 2 beautiful acres, fenced, wooded area, but it's not wooded to where you can't build. There is a mobile home on the property. It does need some TLC. So either someone could buy the property and fix up the mobile home, or just remove the mobile home and then build a new custom home for themselves. But it's a beautiful 2-acre wooded fenced lot, and it has a barn on the property with electricity. The mobile home has 2 bedrooms and 2 full baths with a deck that's fairly new. It's probably 10 years old. Mm-hmm. On that, it's a covered deck, but the property itself is just beautiful. You can see, if you did not want the mobile home, you could live in the mobile home until your house is built or until you get ready to build your house, then remove the mobile home. Right. You could buy the property and rent the mobile home out. There's a lot of different things you could do with that property, but it's just beautiful. It makes you feel like you're in the woods, but you're 5 minutes from everything.
Yeah.
There's some
that's quiet neighborhood there.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Yes, it is. And there's new custom homes across the street from it. So, you can see those depending on how far back you put your home. You can see the rooftops of those custom homes from that property. But it's a very nice property, but we would love for somebody to come and buy it and make it their own and make it beautiful. It hasn't been lived in about 6 months or so. Mm-hmm. And so it would be, to clean up some would be beautiful, but it's listed at $264,900. And like I said, it's 2 acres. And we also had another one last week on Canoe Branch Road, and we put it under contract yesterday. Oh. So they heard it on the radio and wanted to go see it. So we got a contract on it. So we'll be closing on that one soon.
Yeah.
So you never know who's listening. And so people will call us after we get off the radio and go, hey, you talked about this listing today. Can I go see it? Or tell me more about this one. Mm-hmm. So, it works, Coleman. People are listening. You have a lot of loyal listeners out there.
Well, we have a lot of loyal advertisers like you, and we appreciate it.
Well, we enjoy doing that as well. But
it's a mutual admiration.
There you go. There you go. But while I'm thinking about it and talking about listeners, we have a loyal listener that listens every week, and she sits in her car until we're off the radio. Then she'll go into her office and start working. But her name is Kristen Ragsdale. And she'll text me every time I get off the radio and go, oh, you did such a good job. Now I can have a great day. So just wanted to give a shout out to Kristen this morning.
Well, of course. Tell you what, that's about it for you.
Yes,
Before
sir.
you go, I want to be sure I get this in. Most of us know Larry Tomlinson.
Yes.
Larry's mother, Miss Edna, Edna Tomlinson, is 100 years old. I'm not sure when her birthday is, but the celebration is going to be this Sunday, January 23rd. And I don't know if, I'm sure anybody who hears this that knew Miss Edna wants to come would be welcome. It's going to be at The Rock at First Baptist Church, 105 North College from 2 to 4, and honoring and celebrating Miss Edna's 100 years on this earth.
Wow.
So, wanted
Wow.
to get that in this morning.
She's got a lot of stories to tell, doesn't she?
Oh, yes. Well, I've known her all my life, and
Yeah.
Larry all his life, too. I'm a little older than he is.
Yeah.
Thanks for being with us today, and as you always say as you exit,
Don't make a move without us.
thank you so much. Medina Hemmentoller with the Exit Rocky Top Realty C&D team, 1330 West Main Street in Lebanon. They are definitely people you can trust, so don't make a move without us. We are 21 minutes before the hour, and it is my pleasure today to have two gentlemen named Hunt sitting in studio with me. Age first, Woody Hunt, former coach at Cumberland University, the Bulldogs, now the Phoenix, and Ryan Hunt, who is the new coach. Ryan, good morning to you.
Morning. Thank you for having
We
me.
welcome you. Woody, how are you?
I'm doing well. How you doing, Cumberland?
I'm fine. You still wearing that Cumberland cap, too?
Oh, yeah. I just got to have a cap on.
Well, we had Wayne Oakley here yesterday and talked about the Lebanon Girls Softball Association on a cold day when it was snowing.
Yeah.
There's a little snow on the ground, and it's really cold out there this morning. We're ready to talk baseball, but this time of year, especially in colleges, you think about it all the time. But I mean, you're getting ready to go. Ryan, where are you right now? I mean, you know who's on the team, or at least who's there to play baseball, and you're waiting, I guess, for weather suitable to get out and do some practice.
Yeah, we're in our second week of practice, and our first week we were inside for the first few days, and then the weather broke, so we got outside the inter squad, and then of course the snow and stuff came again. But we've been inside all this week. Been a little tough, but we do what we have to do to get our work in, and I think this weekend we're going to try to go over to Friendship Christian. Coach McNeil over there is going to let us use his turf infield to try to get some more work in. So.
Well, you practice. You have to practice. That's just the name of the game as much as possible. And we need to let Woody say something here. You had I think a fantastic retirement ceremony and time there, which we talked a lot then. But you haven't left, and you're still there. What are you, assistant athletic director? Is that the title?
Yeah, they gave me that title. I worked with Ron on facilities mainly, and then help with maybe some fundraising activities and just assist Ron in any way I can. But trying to keep up the facilities, to kind of go around, see what needs to be done and how we can do it and all that. And because it's been, I like facilities and like to keep them up. So I'm doing that. I work about 20 hours a week.
Yeah. Well, I can't believe you're just working 20 hours a week. If nothing else, your mind's working more than that, I'll bet. But it's good to have you staying on. And I understand we have been doing the broadcast of Cumberland baseball for a long time over the years. I understand you're going to be part of the broadcast team at least part of the time.
Yeah, I'm going to do it some. Randy Salas is our play-by-play guy. He replaced Mitch Walters last year, and Mitch left a legacy, and him and Lynn Bogle, of course. But Randy's done a great job promoting our program. He does a lot for our entire university and our athletic program, but he's done a great job of promoting it, and we're going to expand the number of games. And he asked me to do the color, and I reluctantly said yes. I can't do them all, but I'm going to do a lot of them.
Well, this will be sort of plowing new ground for you. You've never you haven't really sat in a broadcast booth and commented on a game much, have you?
No, I haven't. It'll be a new territory for me, but I'll just give my insight, and I won't try to second guess or anything, but it'll be fun just to watch the game from that perspective.
All right, we haven't talked to Ryan enough. Now, you've grown up in the shadow of your daddy here, and you did you ever play baseball at Cumberland? Play for him?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I played,
okay, so you know all about Cumberland. And
oh yeah,
you've been an assistant there, I think, too, weren't you?
Yeah, I was assistant there for 13
And then
years.
you over at Ball State for a while, and now that Woody has retired, you're the man. What's it like coming in here, following in your father's footsteps?
It's kind of really the same thing, because I've been around this program my whole life. It's obviously facilities have changed and some other things with the school and stuff like that. But being so familiar with the program, it's very familiar to me. It's I I get that question a lot, to be honest with you.
Well, the two of you know each other really well, but what I'm wondering, do you think like your father thinks, baseball-wise?
I would say.
Are you a carbon copy of Woody Hunt?
I don't know if I'm a carbon copy, but pretty close. I would say we think a lot alike. Obviously, our personalities are a little different. I'm more like my mom, I guess, personality-wise, but baseball-wise, yeah, I'd say it's pretty close.
Well, you got to play good defense. You got to have some bats going, and you got to score more runs than that opposition. That's the whole thing. But how you get that done? Sometimes people have different ideas.
Right.
But do you feel you're a stronger manager defense wise or offense wise, or?
I don't know. I do put emphasis on defense.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty crucial to have that, strong defense behind the pitchers and get those outs when you need them, and but I also like hitters. So I mean, the name of the game is score more runs than other teams. So.
Well, I've kept up with the Bulldogs a little bit, but not very much individually, to be honest. I did run into your All-American catcher, Steve Green, yesterday at a restaurant, and that was nice to see him. But that was several years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah,
a long time ago. But what I was going to ask you played what position did you play?
Second base. Yeah,
okay.
So.
Is that the only position you mainly?
A little bit of short, but mostly second. Yeah. So.
Okay. So a good infielder.
Yeah.
How was your batting?
It wasn't my strong point. Let's put it that way.
Your strong point was.
But I was very good defensively.
Yeah. Okay. What about that, Woody?
Well, Rhino was a good player. He was, of course, was an all district or all region player at Lebanon High School. And I'm proud of the fact that he is one of the few players to ever start 4 years for Lebanon under Rodney Q. Martin. And then Coach Grissom, I think. But he was a very good player and very good defensively. And offensively, he held his own, but, he was above average defensively.
Yeah. Well, just learning a little bit about you here this morning. We need to go to a break, but before we do, you've got some people coming back, of course, from last year's team. I understand maybe you recruited a few who are going to help you this year.
Oh, yeah, we got a couple guys back from last year. Second baseman's back, Tyler Stokes. Daniel Alvarez, pitcher. Xavier Lindsay, another pitcher that, played quite a bit last year. And we got some other guys that'll be competing for spots from last year's team. But really, I think we brought in 30-something new guys. So it's basically a whole new team.
Okay. All right. With that, we will take a break. We've got Woody Hunt and Ryan Hunt, my guests this morning here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Absolute Kubota. Large inventory of new and used Kubota mowers, RTVs, tractors, hay equipment, and more. Come in Saturday. Free popcorn. Check out the new Kubota products. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Interstate traffic still holding up right now. 65 coming down through Millersville. Traffic's on the increase out of Mount Juliet on I-40. Pretty much on schedule. All that traffic leaving Wilson County headed towards Nashville. Still working a couple of wrecks. Knowlton at Woodmont. That was blocking traffic in Midtown just a couple of minutes ago. Warmer weather's waiting for you right now at Pensacola Beach. Plan out your next trip by logging on to PensacolaBeach.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
The Pavilion Senior Living residents are inviting you to become their new neighbor. If you're looking for a sign to move, call us at 444-5556 to learn more about the details. Or go to thepavilionseniorliving.com for more information. Or better yet, just drop by 1408 Medical Center Drive, right behind Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, and see for yourself. You should move here.
What is your passion? How can you use that passion to enrich your community? Hi, this is Melanie Minter, President and CEO of the Lebanon Wilson County Chamber of Commerce. Your chamber is the resource for making connections to fulfill your passion. Whether education, nonprofit, agriculture, entertainment, or government relations, Wilson County offers a place for you to be involved. Your chamber connects businesses, individuals, and your passion to the community. We have an enthusiasm for excellence. Join us and catch the spirit. Call or visit our office at 149 Public Square in Lebanon.
Are you thinking about buying a new home? Let AG & Johnson assist you with your new home search. From the first-time home buyer to the empty nester, we are experienced in all facets of the home buying process. We will be with you every step of the way. No matter if you are buying, selling, downsizing, or upsizing, we can assist you with your real estate needs. Call us at 615-444-0909 or find us online at agandjohnson.com or Facebook AG & Johnson Realty. AG & Johnson is your community's trusted realty and auction company.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us here on a cold Friday morning. We've got Ryan Hunt and Woody Hunt. Ryan Hunt, the new baseball coach at Cumberland University. Woody, of course. How many years were you there as coach?
I was there 43 years as a
43.
3 of those was assistant coach.
Yeah.
I'm on my 44th year as being employed by.
Well, you and I do have one thing in common. We are both Cincinnati Reds fans.
Yeah, big time, yeah.
And you came from Kentucky, which south of Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Natural, I guess, that the Reds would be your team. The Reds or the Cardinals won.
Well, I'm a Reds and Pittsburgh fan, and neither one's done very well right now.
Yeah. Well, Ryan, what about you? You got a favorite major league team?
Yeah, Pittsburgh Pirates.
Oh.
So
okay.
Haven't had much to cheer for in a long time.
Not lately. Although I tell you what, you got a pretty good catcher up there who was the son of the Vanderbilt basketball coach, Kevin Stallings.
Yep, they traded him away.
Yeah.
So
he's he may not be an all-star catcher, but he's pretty good. I've kind of kept up with him, but he wasn't good enough to play at Vanderbilt.
Right.
That's one I think that the Vandy coach might have let get away. But he had Casale down there. Oh, he was pretty good too.
Oh, yeah.
You talked about you got 30-something new players coming in. Do you have a pretty good idea already of who's going to fit where, or is that a lot that yet to be determined?
In some cases, it's going to be offensively, it's going to be tough to make a lineup out because we got some guys we feel like could be pretty good hitters. But I feel like we can play 12 to 13 guys on a regular basis, mix and matching, and depending on maybe pitching matchups or but also, how people play defensively will go into a lot of that. But pitching wise, it's, we got some good arms. That's going to, probably this first month of the season is going to tell really who wins the jobs.
Well, there's a saying that good pitching gets good hitting, and pretty much that. I think that's the way it is. You're as good as your pitching staff is a lot of times, unless the other team hadn't got any pitching either, and then it's who out hit the other. But that's baseball, and you never know. I mean, you can have a game it's 1-0. It could be a great, exciting game and very few hits or whatever, but some great defense. But then you can have the slugfest that goes 11-9 or something. I'm sure you've experienced all of that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, both ends of that. So.
What do you expect from the opposition this year? You know a little bit, I'm sure, about the teams you're going to be playing and in your league conference.
Yeah, we got a very, very challenging schedule ahead of us. Obviously, our conference is very good. It's probably one of the top conferences in the country. We always got 2 or 3 teams ranked in the top 25 every year, and hopefully we can get back in there. But out of conference, we open up next weekend. We decided to add a few games with Louisiana Shreveport. We go down there, and then 3 weeks from now, we go down to this tournament called the Cajun Collision, where basically some top NAIA teams from all over the country come into play. And our first game down there is against the national runner-up, Central Methodist. And that's not even saying, we play Tennessee Wesleyan during the regular season and some other teams. So it's going to be a very challenging schedule.
Will you have a better idea of how good or how bad you are after you've played in those games?
Yeah, somewhat. It's hard to tell, when your first games of the year, but I'd say by the time conference rolls around, we will have a somewhat of an idea. But I've seen, teams struggle for almost more than half of the year, and then all of a sudden something clicks and it gets going. So you just got to kind of try to stay positive no matter how the season's going, and because you never know when it can turn around. And
well, Coach Hunt over here, Woody Hunt, has had 3 World Series rings, championships, and I'm sure you'd like to have 3 before you hang it up.
Yeah.
But they are hard to come by, and Woody'd be the first to tell you that. You've been there many times, but came back with a championship 3 times, and really put Cumberland on the map. You really have.
Well, it's been really a pleasure to do that, and it's just, it's you look back over the career and what's happened in the last 40 years. It's been the credit to a lot of people and players. Rhino was part of the 3 national championship teams. He coached third base on 2 of those and first base on the other one. So, he's been there and done that, and as a coach. And our goal was the program, and maybe I shouldn't say this, but I will. Our goal as a father-son is to be the first father-son to ever win a national championship.
Well, I wish you well in that endeavor. Really, it's been great to be able, wherever you go, to mention Cumberland and the national championships and so on. And it'd be fine to me if you have 3.
Yeah,
we'll take that.
I don't know whether I want to wish you 4 or not. I would.
I'd take 4.
Yeah, I'd take 4 too.
It's really great to be able to do that, and I didn't realize you were actually a coach in all 3 of those. So you know what it's like to be there, and you wouldn't be too intimidated even the first time you take a bunch out there. Then.
Yeah. I mean, the experience is there when you get out there, but obviously, if I was to do it as a head coach, it'd be a little different, I'm sure. But hopefully we can get to that goal.
There's one other thing we haven't talked about, and that's discipline. And I think Coach Woody Hunt is pretty well known to be pretty much of a strict disciplinarian. He's what he says goes, and it's my way of the highway to a degree. Am I right so far?
Yeah.
How are you? Are you a carbon copy? Are you a little more lenient, or are you more strict than your father?
No, I wouldn't say more strict. I would say, more. Some of the values he said, or some of the rules he set in the program, are the same. We still make our players shave on game day. I may let the guys' hair a little bit longer than he allowed, but still going to make our guys clean their shoes and sweep the dugouts and be in charge of equipment. So it's the same.
One of the things you did, if you played baseball for Woody Hunt, you worked, you kept keep that field. There's a lot of things that you did, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I'm sure some of that's still going to be going.
Oh yeah.
But when you think where you came from, I was telling you when I was just starting to high school, and we played what became Babe Ruth baseball. We played on the Cumberland field up there, and all that was there was a backstop. And now we've got the whole thing, which you spent most of your time there building. When you started out, you had a little bit more than a backstop, but not a whole lot more, right?
No, we when I came to as assistant coach, we were building the old dugouts, with that same backstop that you played with probably. And then after that, after I took over as a head coach, I started doing small improvements to the field. And I'll never forget trying to convince Dr. Stockton to put a fence in the outfield, and because we used to have that picket fence, and he let me do that. And after we did that, we kind of added to it each year. And that's probably the one thing I miss as much as anything is the daily maintenance, the daily concern about the field, because that's just part of my existence at that baseball field.
Yeah, and you no doubt went around with your hand out to a friend. If they weren't your friend, they probably became your friend and contributed. A lot of people in the community stepped up to the plate and helped this.
No, it's no question. I've people know me because I've probably asked everybody in the community for something. It's just so many people have helped me help get that field built like it is, and without this community, our program would not be where it's at.
Well, Ryan, you've got a great facility there. What do you have as far as indoor goes? You have you're able to practice some indoors, aren't you?
Yeah, we got an indoor facility that has 2 cages, and we can push the nets back and do some defensive work and bullpens, and so we can do pretty much anything you want in there.
So even if it's raining or bad weather outside, you can still do some practice. It's not like being out there, but at least you get some practice in.
Oh yeah, we can get some practice. We come little smaller groups because we got so many players we can't move in there. But So we come in smaller groups, but we get our work in.
Yeah, and one of your things named for Benton Jennings.
Yeah, the hitting facility.
And he was a big fan and supporter.
Big supporter of our
over the
program.
years,
Yeah, he was just a great man.
And Benny probably is too, his son.
Yeah.
Well, we've got about a minute left here. Ryan, we certainly wish you well. I appreciate you coming over this morning, and I know you got your work cut out for you in a way because you got some big footsteps to follow. But no doubt they've figured you out. Ron Pavin, he wouldn't have you there if he didn't think you were going to be a good successor to your father. And how many games you got on your regular schedule?
I think right now we got 52 to 53, so we're still a couple short. So
that's a third as many as they play in majors.
Exactly.
Well, hope you have a great year, and of course we're going to be carrying your games, and you got a good play-by-play team with Woody doing some color there on most of them. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. I've enjoyed meeting you and wish you well. And Woody, we've known each other a long time.
Yep.
Thanks for coming out, and we wish you the best as well.
Thank you so much, Coleman.
That is it for Friday. Have a nice weekend. Go Titans, and until Monday, I wish you a fantastic day.